Welcome guys to UrGamingTechie's VR show, a show where we look at PC VR, PSVR, and mobile VR, so you guys don't have to waste your time and money. And today we're looking at a game called Defector on the Oculus Rift S. It is an exclusive made by Twisted Pixel, and I've been looking forward to this game ever since I seen the first trailer for it. It's an action-packed game, jumping out of planes, shooting these bad guys, John Wick kind of style game, and I've been looking forward to it ever since the day I saw that trailer. So, is it any good? Does it hold up to what I wanted? Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, here we are with Defector on the Oculus Rift S. I've been looking forward to this game ever since it's been announced, so I'm excited to dive into this. And we're going to start with Chapter 1 with you guys, give you guys a little bit of the flavor of what the game is like, before, of course, I give you my final thoughts on the game. So, let's go ahead and dive right into this. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. Here we go. Oh, that's weird.
Hello, Commander. We've all read your official reports. While they seem comprehensive and quite detailed, you'll understand that we must debrief you personally about said operations leading up to the incident on Liberty Island last week. Now, based on what you've been telling us, this all began at your meeting with known arms dealer Emilio Pascal. It's also where you claim to have found the first of the device segments. So, fill in the blanks for me, Commander. Start from the beginning.
Graphics on her look pretty good. So did the animations and stuff. Those look good. Good start. I'm looking in the mirror. Yes, I am. Look at my hands, people. Look at my hands. I don't know what my face looks like right now, but it's fine. Alright. Here we are in our room. Pretty cool in here. Movement unavailable. Oh, I guess I have to do something else. Yeah, the earpiece, of course. That makes sense. That was actually a comment on the earpiece, but...
And we are live. Excellent. No need to say anything. I'm receiving ambient sound from your end. However, if you can hear me, give me a nod. Hello? Give us a... Great, we're good to go. Get back to the meet as quickly as possible. You don't want to keep Pascal waiting forever. He'll start to get suspicious. Yeah, you look fine.
Toilet. Interesting. Shower. It's time to exit. Definitely the other way. Look at this.
The bottom right corner will highlight with dossier text if you are looking directly at someone. Press the button and you'll receive information on them. It might prove to be useful.
Oh, nice. It's pretty cool.
Gotta pat you down again. Raise your arms, please. Saw a guy once who tried hiding a gun in a crapper. Didn't turn out too good for him. Yeah, you don't forget to move like that. Alright, you're cool. Go on in.
Nice little bar. Nice little place to relax.
Perfect timing.
Someone sees
Our
it.
dinner has been served, and I, for one, do hate to negotiate on an empty stomach. Although, as I mentioned previously, the shipment you are interested in is already spoken for.
Don't be so hasty, love. You never know what can be revealed during a polite dinner conversation.
Yes, this is true. Please, join me.
How do I actually... Oh, there we go.
Now tell me, since you know I've already promised the shipment to someone else, why were you so insistent on this meeting?
An operative must first be skilled in the art of conversation. Once mastered, these skills can be used to harvest intel, build trust, and even become delicate interrogations. This is Mr. Smith. He has stolen corporate data and needs transport out of the country. You are to gain his trust and be that transport. Begin.
What? Are you a cop or something?
No, too direct.
I guess so.
Small talk has its place, but this is too vague. Try again.
Alright, so this is what it was.
No, I haven't. Why do you ask?
Interesting choice. Now, before we proceed, remember you must guide the direction of a conversation correctly. Otherwise, the subject may get suspicious of you. Suspicion can change the outcome of the interaction. It might send you down a path that's not in your best interest. Let's continue.
Yeah? Good for you, but why are you telling me this?
Good. You have him curious. Proceed.
I'm not sure.
You're assuming too much. Try a different approach.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Nicely done. We'll make an operative out of you yet.
So, why are we chatting?
Nope.
That's a bit insulting. I'm a simple businessman, nothing more.
Knew it was that one.
A
Should've said
direct
it first.
approach. You've discerned that I'm a man who wastes little time. I like that. But I'm afraid this conversation has already run its course before even finishing. Captain Wilson, how much longer?
20 minutes until we begin our descent, sir.
There. We have 20 minutes to complete this delightful meal, while you tell me how you came about this information about my dealing with the Kilonthra rebels or freedom fighters, or whatever it is they're calling themselves this week.
A good question, darling. I'd like to know that myself.
Cut from the same cloth, are we? You don't have to reveal your source. I respect that, even. What is known is known. However, indulge me. For my own amusement, really. Why should I risk my reputation and sell you something that is already spoken for? What? Surely you jest.
Or bluffing, more likely. Let's go check, darling. I think this meeting may have a pleasant ending after all.
Very well. But for your sake, I do hope you're not wasting my time.
Thanks! Now I have to hack into Pascal's account and make it look like you transferred the funds. A heads up would have been nice. Okay. Looks like you have only about 60 seconds for him to verify and return. He's still suspicious from the direction you took that conversation. Look around and see what you can dig up while he's distracted. The tech in your contact lens can locate areas of interest. Use your index finger and touch your temple to activate it.
First one. 026. I guess you can't really access it. Okay, you can't actually open it. That's fine, but no, the code though.
You were not bluffing. No, you were not. It's all there as you said it was. Perhaps some more champagne is in order. Do fetch us a bottle, darling.
Of course.
I'll tell the Galantras that the shipment was intercepted. Fund their money. Maybe. They will be furious. We'll end up crawling back again at some point. I'm sure of it. A toast to our new business relationship. Really, I find it hard to trust someone who won't toast a grand occasion. Patience, my friend. All will be concluded when we land. What I'm going to do is give you a tour of the outside of my plane.
It's
Darling?
not champagne, but it still goes pop.
If I die, how can I talk? You know, in my line of work, a gun to the head doesn't intimidate easily. If you shoot any part of me, my guards will be here before you can suck down your final breath.
I wouldn't be so mouthy if I was in your position.
I'm not afraid of death.
Ooh, face sucked off by rapid decompression. Nice. I remember the last time we did that. Nasty way to go.
Okay, you've made your point. It's close. The shipment is close.
How close? Is it here on the plane?
No, outside. Right there. You can see it.
Damn it! Get up.
This ain't going well.
It is done and cannot be reversed. Now I have a gun pointed at us all, I think. In my line of work, there are always contingency plans in place. You've merely forced my hand.
Doran. Can you hack into the plane's flight deck and vent the gas in the cockpit?
Negative. I I don't know how Pascal planned to get out of this one, but there's no system in place to vent that gas. You're not getting into those plane controls.
I don't believe his bravado. I'm sure he has an escape plan in place. We just have to find it.
Well, you better find it fast because the autopilot on that plane is only going to last for a few minutes before you go into the free fall. Try scanning a different spectrum with your lenses. Touch your temple to cycle through your options. Done it a million times. Found this contingency plan. A parachute for him, and a guest.
I'm on it.
Guess I'm not supposed to grab it yet?
How do you want to play this? We've been in worse situations before. Let's do it.
Really? This is your plan?
Zip it, Doran. You're crushing my buzz here.
I'm just saying, Anna. The calculations of you reaching that other plane.
What have we told you about thinking too much?
Okay, fine. Let me know how it feels being sucked through a jet engine. I've always been curious.
Here, take this. You'll need it if you're leading the way. After you!
Are you both insane? When did you actually do it? Holy shit, oh, okay. Analyzing, there's nothing to grab onto. There! It's locked on. Grab it. The heart attack I'm currently having to remind you of something that I really get in. Don't let go.
What took you so long? Glad you decided to join the party.
One of these days, the luck you two seem to have is going to run out. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, not today. Now where's Pascal's shipment? And please tell me it's on this plane and not one of the others.
It's definitely there. Let me see. Looks like it's...
I see it. Has to be this. Bingo. Hope this was all worth it, because this does not look that impressive. Okay, Doran. Make sure that Sam and the extraction team are ready to go. We're about to...
Okay, that didn't sound good. What the hell was that?
Uninvited guest. Let Sam know we're gonna be a few minutes late.
Roger that. Good luck.
Grab your weapon from the case over there.
Good boys, yeah, buddy.
Okay, strap in and get to work. We won't be finished until every last one of them is taken out.
amazing that you and your teammate, Ana Romero, were able to make it out of there in one piece. Hard to believe, actually. But the recon team's investigation seems to back it up. It appears that you fulfilled your mission objectives and stopped Pascal.
Alright guys, so this is where we're going to leave it off here. We're going to leave this off here. We've been playing this for a little bit already. I'm going to continue playing this game as I usually do. I'm going to try and finish this game up, go through the 5 missions that are in the game, and then we're going to get to the table now, and I'm going to tell you what I thought about it after playing this whole game. So let's go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so that was Defector on the Oculus Rift S. As you guys can see, this is an over-the-top, like, James Bond kind of, like, action type of game that you guys saw. So, you guys saw a little bit of Chapter 1. Obviously, there, like I mentioned in the video, there's 5 chapters in the game in total. There's 5 missions that you're going to be going through. The game lasts about 4-ish hours, 4 hours and 30, 4 hours and 15, somewhere in that range, depending on how fast you move around. So, it's not incredibly long, but I don't think it's, I think it's a pretty good length, especially for the asking price of only $20. So, I don't think it's based on the asking price and, you know, the length of the game, I think it sits at pretty well. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, what you guys saw is obviously just a little snippet. It gets crazier, especially in the first 3 missions. It does get crazier. They're always throwing new mechanics at you. And that's kind of what this game has going for it, depending on how you feel about it. This game is always throwing new mechanics at you. You obviously saw a little bit of rock climbing there in the beginning. You're shooting some bad guys, shooting some planes out of the air. You know, then you start doing some gambling that you do in other later chapters, things like that. So the mechanics are always changing. They're always throwing new things at you, but none of them ever stay long, if that makes sense. They're not like completely fleshed out in any sort of way because they're just constantly throwing new things at you. So as far as the variety in the game has it tenfold. Like there's variety all over the place because you're always doing something different around the corner. And for me, I kind of like that. I don't need the rock climbing part that you guys saw. Is it fleshed out completely? Like, no. But did it work as it was intended? Did I get to climb a plane? Yes, I did. The gambling parts, is it completely fleshed out? It's like a whole gambling minigame? No. But are you able to gamble and play some blackjack and things like that? Yeah, you could. So, I like the variety. I like the way that they did it. And I like, you know, being able to do new things all the time. So, I guess a lot of people describe it as like a tour of what VR does. Not so much like a masterclass in anything, but like it's a tour of everything VR does. So you do the rock climbing parts, the gambling parts, the shooting parts, you know, the ducking behind things, you know. So it's like a section of where VR has done what VR has done in all the other games over the last few years, and kind of does that all over the place. Now, another thing that I like about the game is obviously the graphics. We talked about that when the game first started. I like the way that the graphics look in this game. I think they look really good. I like the way the animations from the characters look. Those came out really well as well. And the actual characters themselves really make you feel like you're part of a story. So graphics overall, really solid job. Not the best VR game I've ever played, but really solid regardless. Speaking of the story starts off really well. What you guys saw, you know, keeps you interested and stuff like that. And through the first 3 chapters or 3 missions in the game, you know, it had me interested. I was listening to it, stuff like that. It gets a little bit weird on chapter 4 and 5. The game kind of takes a little bit of a different turn. I don't want to spoil exactly what happens in those missions, but it definitely takes a different turn than with the previous 3. Even more so that it's almost like a different developer kind of finished the game up at the end, which is interesting. But I don't have as much as a problem with it as some other people have. I still think the game is fun. It's not bad in chapter 4 and 5. It's just not as good as chapters 1, 2, and 3. And like I said, going back to that $20 asking price, even if I just got the first 3 missions, and that was what I got for $20 from this game, I still think the $20 would be worth it, even for the first 3 missions, even if that's the only one that you enjoyed. But I do think that mission 4 and 5 are still good. They're just very different and not the same. And the story goes haywire after that. But I still think it's fun to play through, and I didn't have an issue playing through it. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So overall, I think if you're looking for a game like this, because we don't have a lot of games like this in VR on the PC side. Obviously, this is being compared to a lot like Blood and Truth, which I also did a review on this channel as well. I think Blood and Truth is still a better game. Obviously, it's a little bit longer game as well, but they're not that far off. But it is a little bit longer. You can tell it's more fleshed out. The story is obviously much better than it was in this game. But this is the PC side of things, and I still had a lot of fun with it, even though I did play Blood and Truth and loved it so much. this game still ranks up there for me. I still had a lot of fun with this game. Graphics really, obviously on PC are going to look better than PSVR, and obviously the controllers are going to be better with the Oculus Rift S controllers as well. So that obviously makes it stand out as well. And I like the different mechanics that they were throwing. Like I said before, I had a lot of fun with the variety and a lot of fun with the different things they were throwing at you. You know, jumping out of a plane, climbing a plane, all those sorts of things, shooting all the bad guys. And, if you're into like that James Bond, John Wick kind of action-packed kind of game that you're looking for in VR, for $20, I mean, there's not very many games that like offer this much value, in my opinion, than the $20. And let's not forget that each of these chapters has a branching path. You guys saw that in the beginning here, where it gave me two options, and it said, pick this one or pick that one. And it said one was going to be action, the other was going to be action. Each chapter has a certain point where you have to do that, and each one plays out very differently. So I didn't get to see the other section of it when I did that first, jumped out of a plane. So when you finish the mission and you go back and now you can do chapter select, you can specifically go in and select the other one right away. You don't have to go through the whole entire mission again. You just go in there and select the other option that you didn't select, and then you can go ahead and experience it. So that's how you get a little bit more replay value out of the game as well, when you can do those. So it took me the 4 to 4.5 hours that I was talking about is beating it straight through. Add another hour and a half, somewhere around that range if you want to go through and do all the 5 chapters with the one you actually missed and didn't select for the branching path. So the branching path stuff is cool. I like the way that the story unfolded in the first 3 missions was cool, with selecting the different dialogues and stuff like that. I do wish that they obviously had, instead of selecting the dialogue, it would have been cool to maybe just speak some of it. That would have been a cool thing to do. But overall, I still had a lot of fun with this game. It's not like the masterclass that I think a lot of people were hoping for Defector from Twisted Pixel, but I still think it's a solid game. It doesn't matter if it wasn't like the best game VR has ever seen. That may not be what this is, but as far as a $20 action-packed game that your friends are going to get a kick out of if they come over and play a mission, jumping out of a plane and stuff like that, and you're going to get a kick out of, and the graphics are going to be really good, and you're going to have a lot of fun playing it, I think you could do a hell of a lot worse for $20. And I was looking forward to this game a lot, and I still had my enjoyment out of the game. And I don't think most of you guys are going to be disappointed as long as you know what you're getting yourself into and don't hype yourself up that this is going to be the best game since sliced bread. But other than that, I think it's a solid game. I had a lot of fun, guys. If you guys have any questions about anything you guys have seen for this game or any questions about anything I talked about, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
Gaming Techie is the gaming tech. Gaming Techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming Techie is the gaming tech. Gaming Techie.